great white hope, Tommy Morrison wasn't just knocking out opponents, he was knocking on the doors of boxing greatness. But behind the fame, the million-dollar paychecks, and the Hollywood lights, a darker story unfolded. A story of poor choices, shattered dreams, and tragic consequences. This is the rise and fall of Tommy "the Duke" Morrison, a boxer who lived fast, fought hard, and paid the ultimate price. Tommy Morrison was born on January 2, 1969, in Gravette, Arkansas, and raised in the small towns of Oklahoma. With Irish and Native American roots, Morrison grew up in a tough environment where physical strength and toughness were valued above all else. It didn't take long for people to realize Tommy was something special. By the time he was 10 years old, his father, a former boxer, introduced him to the local boxing gym. There, the young Morrison discovered what would become both his greatest gift and in many ways his greatest curse: devastating punching power. As a teenager, Tommy was a physical specimen. At only 15, he was already lying about his age to compete in adult boxing matches, using a fake ID his mother had made. His fierce left hook and raw aggression quickly earned him a reputation in the amateur ranks. By the time he left high school, Morrison had fought over 200 amateur bouts, winning the majority of them. He even tried out for the U.S. Olympic team in 1988, but lost to future heavyweight champion Ray Mercer.
Nervousness. Mercer with two good right hands. And now Mercer on Morrison in the corner. And Mercer's all over him, and Morrison in trouble. And Morrison goes down for the first time, and it's over. Ray Mercer has won it.
A defeat that would echo later in his pro career. Disappointed but determined, Morrison turned pro later that year, adopting the nickname "the Duke," claiming distant relation to the legendary movie cowboy John Wayne. Morrison's professional career exploded out of the gate. Towering at 6'2" inches and weighing over 220 pounds, Morrison looked like a heavyweight out of a comic book. But it wasn't just his appearance, it was that terrifying left hook.
Big right hand, followed up on the left by Morrison and Shelby.
His first 5 opponents didn't make it out of the first round. Fans loved his style: seek, destroy, and finish. And he delivered every time. In one of his early fights against Tayari Ali, Morrison was briefly tested by jabs at range, but that didn't last. Tommy found his opening, unleashed his signature left hook, and ended the contest with a brutal uppercut.
Much to the chagrin of the audience here, letting it go. I think it's going to stop it now. Morrison will be the winner. Ali came out here in the 4th.
That's going to hit him on a...
Within his first 11 months as a pro, Morrison racked up an unbelievable 18 wins, 16 by knockout. His highlight reel finishes started drawing comparisons to Mike Tyson, another heavyweight wrecking machine of the era. And then, Hollywood came knocking. In 1990, Sylvester Stallone, working on Rocky V, invited Morrison to play the role of Tommy Gunn, a rising young boxer mentored by Rocky Balboa. Morrison wasn't just acting, he was basically playing himself. A powerful, young, ambitious fighter destined for stardom. The movie gave Tommy exposure beyond boxing. Now, he wasn't just a fighter, he was a celebrity. His charm, looks, and knockout power made him a media darling, and a magnet for women, parties, and distractions. But Morrison wanted real titles, not just movie fame. Tommy back in the ring, Morrison's momentum continued. He smashed his way past experienced fighters like Pinklin Thomas and James Tillis, former opponents of Mike Tyson. Tommy floored both, adding to his growing reputation as a heavyweight contender.
Down goes Tillis, very impressive.
In October 1991, Morrison got his first world title shot, a brutal showdown with his old amateur rival Ray Mercer. It was supposed to be redemption for Tommy. Instead, it became one of boxing's most savage beatdowns. Morrison started strong, even rocking Mercer early in the fight.
Sneaks another right hand, and Mercer now comes on the attack with 2 right hands.
But he punched himself out, his energy gone, his guard down. Mercer seized the moment and unleashed a horrifying 5th-round assault, knocking Morrison unconscious against the ropes in a scene so violent, it made highlight reels for years. For most fighters, this would have been the end, but Morrison wasn't done. Living the Ked. After months of recovery, Morrison returned with vengeance. He rattled off several wins, all by knockout, showing the world that the Duke was far from finished. His brutal power was still there, and the boxing world took notice. In June 1993, Tommy Morrison finally realized his championship dream. Standing across the ring was none other than George Foreman, the former undisputed heavyweight king, making a comeback of his own. Everyone expected fireworks, a slugfest, a bloody war. But Tommy shocked the world, not with power, but with patience.
In January here on HBO, Morrison misses with the left hook, but seems to have a little bit of a second win.
He boxed smartly, used footwork and jabs, and avoided Foreman's legendary right hand. After 12 cautious but clever rounds, Morrison won the WBO heavyweight title by unanimous decision. For a brief moment, Tommy Morrison sat atop the boxing world. Tommy ensign Operation Falleries, but success in the ring didn't mean control outside of it. Morrison's personal life was a mess. He lived wild parties, alcohol, and countless affairs. His reckless lifestyle caught up with him fast. In his first title defense, scheduled for August 1993, his opponent pulled out last minute. A local journeyman, Tim Tomaszek, filled in, providing a soft victory. But the big money fight with Lennox Lewis, worth $8 million, was just around the corner. All Morrison needed to do was win his next bout against underdog Michael Bent. Instead, disaster struck. Morrison recklessly charged Bent in the first round, only to be dropped 3 times and stopped in under 2 minutes. The title was gone. The payday against Lennox Lewis vanished. His career had derailed overnight. Still, at just 24, Morrison wasn't finished yet. One staff tracked us, "We had it won in Morrison." Trying to rebuild, Morrison fought and beat journeymen, but cracks began to show. In 1994, he faced Ross Purity, a tough but limited opponent. Morrison ran out of gas, got knocked down, and barely survived the fight. A draw was declared, a warning that the Duke was fading. Then, his worst nightmare came true. In 1996, during a routine medical check, Morrison tested positive for HIV. The Nevada Athletic Commission immediately suspended him. At only 27 years old, Morrison's career was over. He never fought another sanctioned pro fight in America. At the time, HIV was a death sentence, especially for an athlete. Morrison's world collapsed. He spiraled into drugs, alcohol, arrests, and prison time. The once great contender became a cautionary tale, the star who threw everything away. But Tommy wasn't done shocking the world. In the 2000s, Morrison bizarrely claimed he never had HIV, that the tests were wrong. Some doctors supported him, most didn't. But Tommy used this as his excuse to fight again in unsanctioned bouts on Native American reservations, far from the eyes of boxing commissions. He even dabbled in MMA, badly, and returned to the ring with grotesque plastic surgeries and breast implants from steroid abuse. His body was wrecked, his skills were gone, but he fought anyway, desperate to reclaim past glory. It never worked. By 2013, Morrison's health failed for good. He was bedridden, unable to move, cared for by his family. On September 1st, 2013, Tommy Morrison died from complications related to AIDS. He was just 44 years old. His record, 48 wins, 42 by knockout, and only 3 losses, remained impressive, but his legacy was bittersweet. A man with all the talent in the world who couldn't escape his own demons. His sons later became boxers themselves, carrying the Morrison name back into the ring. But the shadow of their father's life, the glory and the tragedy, will forever follow. To do Missouri's story is one of the most haunting in boxing history. He had everything: power, charm, fame. He won titles, starred in Hollywood, and made millions. He remains a warning to young fighters. Talent isn't enough. Discipline, health, and choices matter just as much as punching power. Even now, when fans watch his old knockout highlights, they remember what could have been: a potential Tyson-like superstar derailed by his own hand. In the end, Tommy Morrison will forever be remembered, not just for the titles he won, but for the greatness he never reached. What are your thoughts on Tommy Morrison's tragic career? Let us know in the comments below. He had the looks, the power, and the charisma to become the next heavyweight legend. Dubbed the Great White Hope, Tommy Morrison wasn't just knocking out opponents, he was knocking on the doors of boxing greatness. But behind the fame, the million-dollar paychecks, and the Hollywood lights, a darker story unfolded. A story of poor choices, shattered dreams, and tragic consequences. This is the rise and fall of Tommy "the Duke" Morrison, a boxer who lived fast, fought hard, and paid the ultimate price. Tommy Morrison was born on January 2, 1969, in Gravette, Arkansas, and raised in the small towns of Oklahoma. With Irish and Native American roots, Morrison grew up in a tough environment where physical strength and toughness were valued above all else. It didn't take long for people to realize Tommy was something special.